Tonight, national security in the spotlight at the Bondi Royal Commission. Australia's spy boss revealing budget pressures and astonishing new details about the terrorist attack. An NRL bombshell, CEO Andrew Abdo quits, set to take centre court for Tennis Australia. A major multi-agency search underway for a swimmer seen struggling in the water at Little Bay. Independence Day, the Teals in talks to form a new political party, fracturing the crossbench. A devastating update. AFL legend Neil Daniher dies following a long battle with motor neurone disease. And an injury scare rocks the Blues as the Maroons touch down in enemy territory.
This is 10 News Sydney with Sandra Sully.
Good evening. First tonight, in new evidence to the Bondi Royal Commission, it has emerged that it was pure chance there were any police on the scene at all when two gunmen opened fire, killing 15 innocent people. The head of ASIO told the Commission he had no warnings of any specific threat, but he denies that was because counter-terrorism work was being squeezed for resources.
While the Bondi terrorists were planning their attacks, the Royal Commission today heard the head of ASIO was juggling budgets.
The proportion of funding allocated to counter-terrorism significantly declined over the period from 2020 to 2025.
The year before the Bondi attack, Mike Burgess raised Australia's terrorism threat level from possible to probable. But ASIO had other demands fighting spy rings and foreign interference, and he did not ask for more money.
We're operating in a budget environment where the government rules are very clear. If you ask for something, it's a zeros offset, so you have to offer an offset. So I might have got a plus up, but I would have had to taken it from somewhere else.
He denies that decision put Australians at risk.
In retrospect, do you consider that additional funding and resources would have put ASIO in a better position to pursue its counter-terrorism activities over the last 5 years or so?
No, I don't in retrospect. I still think that our resourcing was sufficient.
A strong police presence was there all day at the two previous Bondi Hanukkah events. Fatally, despite warnings from Jewish security experts, local police downgraded their risk assessment last December, leaving only local mobile patrols to keep an eye on it. Today we learned it took just 29 seconds from the first shot for 11 people to be hit, 10 of them fatally. 3 police were shot. Within 5 minutes, 11 police had reached the scene. It took less than 8 minutes for one terrorist to be killed, the other disabled. The senior officers from Sydney's Eastern Suburbs Police Command, who ultimately made the decision to treat the Hanukkah event as a low-level risk, have been given permission to have their identities concealed when they give their evidence. Hugh Riminton, 10 News.
A bombshell resignation has tonight rocked the NRL, with Andrew Abdo walking away from the game's top job. Abdo will replace Craig Tilley as Tennis Australia boss from the 15th of July. It is a huge blow for rugby league, with major negotiations underway and 2 new teams preparing to join the competition.
It appears all good things must come to an end.
It's with much disappointment that I announced that Andrew Abdo's joined the One Nation Party and going there this afternoon. Jokes aside, Andrew is leaving us to be the CEO of Tennis Australia.
This announcement bringing down the curtain on a 6-year tenure, during which Andrew Abdo oversaw record crowds and television ratings and expansion. 3 new teams plus the wildly successful season openers in Las Vegas.
My goal was simple: to make the game better and stronger than when I started, and that's probably been a really pleasing element for me.
It's quite the legacy for the former Deloitte director, who became rugby league boss in 2020. His partnership with ARL Commissioner Peter V'landys the most influential in Australian sport. V'landys himself picking up the loose ball for now.
I will be taking on executive duties until a replacement is found. I've taken 4 months long service leave from my current role at Racing New South Wales.
Abdo's decision caught everyone by surprise, but it's a boon for Tennis Australia, which has been looking for a replacement for its boss and Australian Open tournament director Craig Tiley, who stepped down in February. It's a promotion too for Abdo, trading his reported $1.6 million NRL salary for something north of $3 million. Abdo's great leap over the Australian sporting divide comes at a critical time, with the game pursuing a record-breaking television deal, in negotiations over its collective bargaining agreement, and set to welcome 2 new teams in the next 2 seasons.
This was a limited opportunity, a limited window, I should say.
Andrew Abdo walking away and certain to prove a hard act to follow. Matt Canellan, 10 News.
A search is underway tonight for a swimmer missing off Little Bay in Sydney's east. Emergency teams were called at around 11 this morning after reports that a man believed to be in his 30s was seen in difficulty about 100 metres offshore. Multiple agencies are involved in the search from the sea, air and shore. With polling projecting One Nation could become the official opposition at the next federal election, there are deep discussions in Canberra tonight on the forming of a new political party that would unite the Teal independents. It has been a colourful start to the parliamentary sitting fortnight as the federal government prepares to ram through those controversial tax reforms.
The wheels are in motion.
I'd stick to your day job.
Yeah, I'm not doing well here.
For a potential new political party to rival the Liberals.
The Teals have already acted like a party for years. I don't know what's new.
This is not about saving the Liberal Party, rebranding the Liberal Party or doing another Labor Party.
Driven by One Nation's rising popularity and the coalition shift further right, plus changes to political donation laws making it harder for individuals, Teal independents Zali Steggall and Allegra Spender confirm they're in discussions about forming an alliance.
As an athlete, you always have to meet the field of play. Staying still is not how you keep winning.
It'd be a hell of a party, and I don't know. Is there enough gin and tonic to go around?
It's a no from fellow Teals Monique Ryan and Kate Cheney, ruling themselves out along with other regional independent MPs.
I mean, let 1,000 blossoms bloom. It's not something for me, but it may be something for other people.
I came out of the party system. The last thing in the world I want to do is go back into it, I can assure you.
Now that Parliament's back, the federal government's focused on ramming through its controversial budget tax reform. It's still consulting on business carve-outs. The Prime Minister has now indicated that could be broader than just tech startups. Despite billboard-sized backlash,
I wanted to have the voices of the public and who this budget is affecting heard.
The federal government's pushing ahead.
On Thursday, we will be introducing legislation
tying tax cuts for workers with controversial changes for investors. Labor can then accuse the coalition of opposing tax relief again.
We will learn on Thursday whether they've learned the lesson from the last election.
Every Australian will be worse off because of this aspiration-killing budget.
The Greens are yet to confirm support. Chloe Boris, 10 News.
We have some breaking news out of Canberra. The remaining ISIS brides and their children will return to Australia in less than 24 hours. So let's go live to our federal political reporter, Matt Cuss-Stunan. He is at Parliament House. G'day, Matt. This cohort will be touching down in Sydney.
Good evening, Sandra. 10 News understands the cohort of 6 women and 14 children have purchased airline tickets to depart the Syrian capital of Damascus to travel to Doha and then on to Sydney to arrive there at around 5:30 tomorrow night. Now, on Friday, the group left the Al Rosh camp, beginning their very long journey back to their home country. But one of the women will be left behind after the government imposed a temporary exclusion order, meaning she'll be barred from travelling back to Australia for 2 years. Earlier this month, we saw 4 ISIS brides and their 9 children returned to quite the media circus in Sydney and Melbourne. 3 women were arrested then upon their return. Now, it's expected similar arrangements will be in place with police at Sydney Airport. The federal government, though, again reaffirming they are not helping with their return. Sandra.
All right, Matt Cuss-Stunan reporting in Canberra tonight. Thank you. Gambling reform could be on the cards in New South Wales with a push from within Labor's ranks to significantly reduce the number of pokies. It would be put to a vote at the state conference in just a couple of weeks' time. But the Premier has also hinted that he might have some changes of his own in the works too.
Proudly pokey-free for 20 years, Peter Shimbolo is proving it's not only possible, but profitable.
We keep growing year in, year out. Our membership grows, our turnover grows, we get busier and busier.
Setting a high bar for pubs and clubs across the state.
There's about 90,000 poker machines in New South Wales today. That means that we are the gold medalists
for poker machines per capita.
But it's punters who are losing $9.3 billion last year alone. Darcy Byrne wants to slash the number of machines by half over 10 years, a transition it's proposed businesses would be supported through with government funding.
But just caution against there being supposed buckets of money to compensate clubs if we were going to drive them out of business.
Not to mention the $2 billion worth of tax revenue it could lose annually. But the Inner West Mayor is betting on the State Labor Conference in July to get it over the line, having already secured cross-factional consensus. The union's New South Wales boss, Mark Morey, also aligned.
I think the vast majority of Labor MPs, in fact MPs right across the parliament, know that this is something that should be addressed.
The Premier concedes his government needs to do more to minimise gambling harm. And while there's still no word on the introduction of cashless gaming, something else could be in the cards.
I'm not going to announce our policies today, but we'll have more to say in the not too distant future.
Meaning all bets aren't off. Tallulah Thompson, 10 News.
Severe weather is now forecast to strike parts of the state this week with a possible deluge on the way for Sydney. So, of course, we're going to bring in our expert meteorologist, Josh Holt. Josh, break it down for us. What exactly can we expect?
Good evening, Sandra. We are expecting some dynamic weather to return across New South Wales, even parts of Sydney through the back end of this week. I'll get to that in a moment. First of all, outside today, it was a grey old day for Monday. We did see those grey skies roll over parts of the city. As you can see, some low-level cloud and some rainfall. We're at about 2.5 millimetres into the rain gauge at the airport. Slightly heavier for Parramatta, picking up 3. But let me tell you, it's going to get heavier as we get through this week. So let's not hesitate and first of all dive into the radar. You can see those light showers moving across areas of Sydney today, sweeping in from the north. Not too much into the gauges since 9 o'clock this morning, as I mentioned. But we're watching this weather system with interest, a low-pressure system that will be shifting eastwards as we get through this week. But what's really driving this weather setup over the coming days is what's happening in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. We call this a cut-off low, a cold pull of air in the mid to upper levels, which detaches from the far southern latitude. So as it detaches from that strong wind field, it becomes relatively slow moving, lingering over parts of New South Wales, increasing instability and driving this weather event over the next few days. And you can see that moisture really starting to build through Wednesday, but in particular for Sydney, Thursday and Friday this week, it looks particularly heavy. How much rain can we expect into the gauges? Well, upwards of 100 millimetres, most likely widespread. We could see some isolated areas, though, exceeding the 150 millimetre mark. Temperatures out there today, 22 for Richmond, 23 in Penrith and 21 in the city. But of course, Sandra, we'll have more details on this widespread rain coming up 5 to 6.
All right, Josh, thank you. To some sad news now, and there are tears and tributes tonight for national treasure Neil Daniher, who has died aged 65. A brilliant footballer, a formidable coach, but Daniher will be best remembered as a tireless campaigner for MND, motor neurone disease. The 2025 Australian of the Year lost his battle with the illness this morning, surrounded by family at home.
Described as a footballer ahead of his time.
He puts this through, it's only 5 points the difference.
And during his time, Neil Daniher made an extraordinary difference, never allowing his battle against MND to define him, but drive him. In announcing his death, his family said, Neil's fight was never his alone. It became something bigger, something shared, and it touched the lives of many. His wish was simple but powerful, to help create a world where no one has to face this disease. Daniher played 82 games for Essendon, his final one alongside his 3 brothers.
Spent time with my brothers at the football club. Now, looking back now, special time.
With his career cut short by persistent knee injuries, Daniher turned to coaching, taking the helm at the Melbourne Demons for 9 seasons.
Neil Daniher enjoying that.
Then in 2013, he was diagnosed with motor neuron disease, a terminal illness which robs people of the ability to move or speak, but leaves the brain unaffected and patients trapped inside a body which no longer responds. It has an average life expectancy of 27 months, but Daniher blew that statistic away, living with MND for over 12 years. And he turned his profile and diagnosis into a powerful tool for change. He co-founded Fight MND, putting the disease on the national stage. Then came the big freeze. For over 10 years, Daniher selected who took the plunge into the ice water. But the Sliders chose their outfits.
Freddie Mercury!
and then the ultimate acknowledgement.
I am delighted to announce that the 2025 Australian of the Year is Neil Daniher.
His legacy is indelible, and Fight MND has raised over $115 million for research and clinical trials.
Our vision is simple: a world without MND.
While the beast may have claimed Neil Daniher's life, it certainly didn't defeat him.
May this wonderful Australian rest in peace.
Neil Daniher was 65.
What a superstar. Sad indeed. On a brighter note, as always, Chloe Amanda Bailey with a preview of sport. And Chloe, the Blues plans, gosh, oh no, they've been thrown into chaos.
You don't mean that, do you? No. Sandra, it is 2 days until game one, and Mitch Moses is in doubt. The 5'8" will be sent for scans on his hamstring tomorrow. We'll tell you who is being rushed into camp. Why Sharks co-captain Cam McInnes says quitting NRL is the best decision for his career. And when you gotta go, you gotta go. Why Arthur J will never forget his French Open debut, and neither will we. That's in sport, Sandra.
See you then. Thanks, Chloe. Stay with us if you can. Still to come, the moment a paraglider cheats death. A parachute, get this, hit by a passing plane. The $1 million reward to help solve a decades-old double murder. Plus, it is sink or swim for the enhanced game. So, did the controversial event pay off for the athletes who put it all on the line?